This man was responsible for a crypto crash that wiped out over $45 billion of market capitalization and led to a domino effect that erased $1 trillion in value across the wider crypto industry and ultimately led to the collapse of numerous other crypto firms, including FTX. A brash, trash-talking founder surrounded by a cult of personality who gained a passionate fan base and mocked his critics as dumb and poor, Kwon led Interpol on an international manhunt after his company collapsed. Now he is simply yet another Forbes 30 under 30 honoree who wound up in prison. Some have called him the Elizabeth Holmes of crypto, a CEO who knowingly misled investors about his dazzling new financial product, when he knew that it didn't actually work and that he was faking the results behind the scenes. Others say that he was simply arrogant and negligent about the stability of his product, but that failure isn't fraud, and that he might even have been the victim of market manipulation or sabotage. In the end, however, Kwon was found guilty of fraud, as a variety of lies and secrets surrounding his company were unraveled by whistleblowers after the collapse. This is the story of Kwon and the Terra Luna crash. Kwon was born in 1991 in South Korea. He attended a prestigious foreign language private high school and went on to attend Stanford University in the United States, graduating with a bachelor's degree in computer science in 2015. After brief stints as a software engineer at Microsoft and Apple, Kwon returned to South Korea where he soon founded his first startup, AnyFi, in 2016. AnyFi used a peer-to-peer Wi-Fi mesh network to distribute bandwidth amongst individuals with no internet access. Kwon raised $1 million in funding for AnyFi. However, the company encountered criticism, receiving several failing grades on evaluation reports and facing accusations of inappropriate use of funding on personnel expenses. During his tenure as CEO of AnyFi, Kwon's interests began to shift towards cryptocurrency. He saw the need for a robust, decentralized crypto payment network and co-wrote a white paper with a college friend on how a decentralized payment system powered by a stablecoin could facilitate the use of cryptocurrencies as a means of exchange. The paper caught the attention of Daniel Shin, a South Korean tech entrepreneur with experience in payment systems. Together, Shin and Kwon co-founded Terraform Labs in 2018. The company secured over $200 million in funding from respected VC firms like Lightspeed and Galaxy Digital. In 2018, Terraform Labs launched Luna, a standard cryptocurrency, and in 2020, they introduced Terra USD, an algorithmic stablecoin pegged to the US dollar. The new company was notable enough that Kwon was named to Forbes Asia's 30 under 30 list in 2019. Co-founder Daniel Shin eventually left the company in 2020. Terraform's algorithmic stablecoin, Terra USD, was an innovative and controversial product. Stablecoins are a type of cryptocurrency that are supposed to be pegged to a stable asset and are not supposed to fluctuate. Traditional stablecoins such as Tether are backed by real assets, such as cash or bonds as collateral. Algorithmic stablecoins like Terra, on the other hand, are not backed by cash, treasuries, or any tangible assets. Instead of traditional assets, they are stabilized by algorithms based on the fundamental economic concept of supply and demand. Terra was stabilized by algorithms that linked it to Terraform's regular cryptocurrency, Luna. Here is a rough explanation of how the Terra USD stablecoin was theoretically supposed to stay at $1. If Terra USD fell below $1, traders could buy it at a discount and exchange it for $1 worth of Luna. The Terra USD tokens would be destroyed as part of the exchange, reducing the supply of Terra and bringing its price back to $1. Conversely, if Terra USD climbed above $1, traders could burn Luna to create new Terra USD, increasing the supply of Terra and lowering its price back to $1. Basically, The allure of quick arbitrage profits was supposed to prompt buying activity to bring the price of Terra back to its peg. However, there was extreme skepticism surrounding algorithmic stablecoins. Numerous critics warned that Terra was susceptible to a type of bank run that traders called a death spiral. If Terra fell too far below its $1 peg, and there weren't enough traders willing to buy the coin and exchange it for Luna, the market's faith in the coin would be eroded, causing even more people to abandon it and resulting in a crash of both Terra and Luna. Algorithmic stablecoins had crashed before. In June 2021, the algorithmic stablecoin Iron had fallen from its $1 peg down to 75 cents, causing its associated cryptocurrency Titan, basically its equivalent of Luna, to crash from $64 to zero in just a few hours, erasing $2 billion worth of value. Ryan Clemens, a law professor at the University of Calgary in Canada who studies algorithmic stablecoins, warned in an April 2022 Wall Street Journal interview that no algorithmic stablecoin was safe from a death spiral. In order to improve the security and stability of an algorithmic stablecoin, it helped to build a large ecosystem around it. The more things the coin was used for, the more people would want to buy it, and the more secure it would be against a death spiral. Kwon set about doing this for Terra and Luna in two ways. Kwon's co-founder Daniel Shin had also founded an e-payments giant known as Chai. In 2019, Chai partnered with Terraform Labs to allow stablecoin payments through the Chai app, allowing Terra users to pay for real-world items using their cryptocurrency. Kwon also announced that Chai was using Terraform's blockchain to process and settle transactions between customers and merchants. The Chai payment system at one point had up to 2 million users. This deal would therefore create a significant increase in the size of the Terra Luna ecosystem and a significant increase in the use of Terra in the real world. A second incentive used to grow Terra's ecosystem was the creation of the Anchor protocol, a sort of pseudo-bank built on Terra that offered up to 20% interest on Terra USD deposits, twice the interest rate offered on competing crypto platforms, and up to 400% higher than the savings interest rates at traditional banks. Although crypto firms often make large profits from loans, this insanely high interest rate was seen as a short-term, potentially profit-losing strategy in order to build Terra's user base and increase its stability. The Anchor protocol attracted a wave of new users. One analyst at the crypto trading firm GSR told the Wall Street Journal that he knew people who were taking their savings out of traditional banks like Chase and parking them in Luna. Eventually, over 80% of all Terra USD was tied up in Anchor. For an added layer of security, Kwon also set up a $3 billion Bitcoin reserve to serve as a rainy day fund in case Terra ever started to depeg. Primarily thanks to the Anchor protocol attracting waves of new users, Terra and Luna took off. Terra USD quickly became the most popular algorithmic stablecoin, growing over 500% from late 2020 to early 2021. It became the third largest overall stablecoin after asset-backed coins, Tether, and USD Coin. Like FTX and other crypto companies, Kwon sought partnerships with sports teams, striking a $38 million sponsorship deal with the Washington Nationals baseball team in February 2021. In May 2021, some concern was raised when Terra USD fell from its $1 peg to approximately 90 cents. However, within a few days, the price had returned to $1. Kwon touted this as proof that the price had self-corrected and that his algorithm worked. Critics continue to warn about the inherent risks of algorithmic stablecoins, but Kwon argued that the large volume of activity created around Terra through initiatives like Chai and Anchor meant that Terra USD's liquidity would not vanish. He dismissed critics with such brash statements as, "I don't debate the poor." Charles Cascarilla, founder of the blockchain company Paxos, which offered an asset-backed stablecoin that had recently been surpassed in popularity by Terra, criticized Luna's underlying technology in a Wall Street Journal interview and warned about the inherent instability of algorithmic stablecoins. Kwon dismissed him in a tweet saying, WTF is Paxos. Kwon's brash attitude created a cult of personality around him, which led to a passionate fan base who called themselves lunatics. Crypto evangelist Mike Novogratz bought a tattoo of a wolf howling at a yellow moon and wrote, I'm officially a lunatic. The names Terra and Lunar, by the way, were supposed to be inspired by the Earth and the Moon, hence the moon tattoo. In April 2022, Do Kwon welcomed a newborn daughter whom he named Luna, tweeting, My dearest creation named after my greatest invention. Do Kwon quickly became one of the wealthiest people in crypto. He reached a peak net worth of $4 billion in early 2022 at the age of 30. Things looked like they couldn't get any better for Do Kwon. Yet soon after hitting the zenith of his career, things would begin to crumble, and secret rumblings from whistleblowers would show that things may never have been as they seemed. In May 2022, 1 year after it had first fallen below the $1 peg, Terra fell below the peg once again, but this time it never recovered. The dip was triggered by a series of outsized sell-offs by an anonymous investor in the Anchor protocol, perfectly timed during a period when Terraform Labs was migrating some UST reserves between different trading pools. More investors followed suit. In total, 2 large investors withdrew $375 million from Anchor on May 7, 2022, which then preceded a wider bank run. The withdrawals were too large for the algorithms to adjust for. Both Terra and Luna lost over 99% of their value. The price of Luna fell from $116 to almost zero, while the price of Terra dropped from the $1 peg to about 11 cents. It was the death spiral that critics had predicted. Numerous investors saw their portfolios whittled down to practically nothing. During the FTX trial, former Alameda CEO Caroline Ellison said Alameda had lost over $100 million on Terra. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao had invested $3 million in Luna, saw it grow to $1.6 billion, then saw it whittle away to just $3,000. But Changpeng Zhao was rich enough to weather the storm. Many smaller traders suffered greater personal losses that truly devastated their lives. A Wall Street Journal article described examples such as a British IT consultant who lost $30,000 of his life savings and had to resort to washing windows to make ends meet, a man in war-torn Ukraine who moved his $9,000 worth of savings to Terra out of fear that the war would destabilize his country's banks, only to lose it all, and a man in Taiwan who fell to his death from his 13th floor apartment after losing $2 million on Luna. The sad thing is that the people who deposited their money in Terra believed that they were choosing stability, predictability, and safety rather than attempting to get rich quick on speculative crypto trading. Do Kwon appeared apologetic, tweeting, I am heartbroken about the pain my invention has brought on all of you. Soon after the collapse of Terra, Kwon unveiled a new blockchain he called Terra 2.0, but it performed poorly. Investors had lost all confidence in him. The fall of Terra had a domino effect across the wider crypto industry. Because the currency was supposed to be stable, many trading firms used it as collateral in their borrowings, only to watch their collateral reserves dwindle to nothing. The destruction of $45 billion worth of value led to price volatility across the broader crypto market, tanking the price of Bitcoin by approximately half from $40,000 to $20,000, leading to a loss of over $1 trillion in the total market value of crypto in a matter of months. These factors contributed to the failures of hedge funds, crypto lenders, and other crypto firms, including Alameda Research and its sister company, FTX. Many believed that the massive Anchor sell-offs may have been a deliberate sabotage by some anonymous actor or firm to crash Terra. Others believed that the crash was the unintended result of illegal market manipulation. At one point, authorities even believed that FTX might have been involved in setting the whole collapse in motion. In December 2022, a month after FTX itself had collapsed, the New York Times reported that the Justice Department had launched an investigation into whether SBF had been engaged in illegal market manipulation with the intention of steering the prices of Terra and Luna in ways that would benefit FTX and Alameda, but that he had instead inadvertently caused the collapse of Luna and subsequently the wider crypto collapse of 2022. Before Terra and Luna's collapse in May, there had been a flood of sell orders in small denominations coming in for Terra USD, orders that were placed too quickly to find matching buy orders. In normal conditions, sell orders that were unmatched for too long would usually be matched later with buy orders at a lower price, causing a drop in Luna prices. According to one person cited by the New York Times, the bulk of sell orders against UST right before the collapse appeared to be coming from Alameda, who had also placed a big bet on the price of Luna falling. This could have resulted in massive profits for Alameda if things had gone according to plan. Instead, the entire Terra Luna ecosystem wound up collapsing. Sam Bankman-Fried denied any intentional market manipulation. On Twitter, Kwon liked the New York Times article about FTX's possible role in Luna's collapse, writing, "What's done in darkness shall come to light." However, a May 2023 analysis from the National Bureau of Economic Research, which used detailed data from the Terra blockchain and trading data from on-chain centralized exchanges, concluded that, despite unusual activity around the time of the crash, the Terra Luna collapse was not caused by market manipulation by any single entity. Instead, they concluded that it had been caused by increasing concerns about the sustainability of the Terra Luna system. According to the analysis, once some large UST holders adjusted their positions, other large traders followed suit. Larger, wealthier investors who had more sophisticated information monitoring techniques were the first to go, experiencing the smallest losses. Sadly, smaller, poorer, less sophisticated investors suffered larger losses. Not only were they the last to go, but some of them tried to buy into the dip in hopes of reaping large rewards if Terra recovered. In September 2022, the South Korean High Court issued an arrest warrant for Kwon, but he had already disappeared. Over the next few months, Kwon would give a series of interviews from undisclosed locations, seemingly taunting authorities. He tweeted that he was not on the run and that he was in full cooperation with any government agencies that had shown interest in communicating. South Korean prosecutors disagreed, saying that Kwon was obviously on the run. South Korean authorities eventually sought the help of Interpol to find Kwon. Interpol issued a red notice for Kwon's arrest. A red notice is a request for international authorities to locate and provisionally arrest a wanted person pending extradition or surrender. Kwon had officially gone from Forbes 30 Under 30 honoree to international fugitive. Authorities eventually figured out that Kwon had traveled to Singapore in April, before South Korea issued an arrest warrant for him. Then in September, just after the warrant was issued, he likely fled to the Emirates and then at some point made his way to Serbia, where he had been in hiding with former Terraform CFO Hang Sang-jun, who owned a luxurious apartment in Belgrade. Meanwhile, whistleblowers began informing authorities that Terra USD's miraculous recovery after it had dipped to about 90 cents in May 2021 may not have been the algorithm-induced self-correction that Kwon had claimed it was. According to the SEC, Kwon had set up a special deal with a high-frequency crypto trading company called Jump Trading to purchase tens of millions of dollars worth of Terra USD to push the price back to $1. A Jump whistleblower claimed to have overheard one of Jump's co-founders saying that they were willing to risk $200 million to save Terra's $1 peg. The SEC also learned that in exchange, Jump was allowed to buy Luna at prices as low as 30 to 50 cents over the next 3 years. At the time of the deal, Luna was trading at 20 cents, but it would rise to as high as $90 by 2021 and 2022. Therefore, Jump Trading was able to purchase Luna for under $1, then sell it to investors during a bull market. The SEC claimed that Jump had made a profit of over $1 billion through its deal with Terraform Labs. After Jump saved Terra in 2021, Kwon made another deal to give $61.5 million worth of Luna in monthly installments to Tai Mo Shan, a crypto trading affiliate of Jump. Kwon also loosened some of the conditions Jump had previously needed to meet in order to receive Luna tokens. The SEC therefore alleged that the miraculous self-correction that Kwon had sold to the public as proof that his algorithm worked had been false. Kwon argued that Jump Trading had only been responsible for about 6% of the correction. The rest, he insisted, had been the algorithm. More dishonesty was discovered in relation to the Chai payments network. Authorities alleged that the relationship between Terra and Chai had ended in 2020, yet Kwon continued to tout the relationship in presentations. During Kwon's eventual fraud trial, one investor testified that he would never have invested in Terra had he known that there was no longer a relationship with Chai. The SEC also revealed that before disappearing, Kwon and Terraform Labs had converted thousands of Bitcoin into cash via a Swiss bank and had withdrawn more than $100 million after the crash. The SEC argued that misleading investors about Chai and failing to disclose the deal with Jump Trading constituted fraud. They filed fraud charges against Kwon and Terraform Labs. Meanwhile, Interpol had notified Serbian authorities that Kwon was in the country, but by that time, Kwon had made it over the border to Montenegro. Serbian authorities notified Montenegro's interior minister that Kwon was in their country, and the minister notified the Montenegrin border chief. In March 2023, as Kwon and his former CFO Hang Sang-jun attempted to board a private plane to Dubai, their passports were flagged. It was discovered that both men had been traveling using fake Costa Rican passports. A search of their luggage also revealed fake Belgian passports. Kwon claimed that he hadn't known that the passports were fake and that he had been misled by a Singaporean agency who had procured them for him. Both men were charged with forgery by Montenegrin authorities and were sentenced to 4 months in prison. While in the Montenegrin prison, Kwon somehow managed to cause a national political scandal. In Serbia, he had met with a former acquaintance from his time in Singapore, a Montenegrin named Sajic, who had worked at the Singapore-based VC firm Das Kapital and had previously invested $75,000 in Terra. Sajic had returned to his home country to run for political office and was currently involved in an election against the incumbent prime minister. He swore that, at the time he met with Kwon in Serbia, he had had no idea that Kwon was a wanted fugitive. While Kwon was in prison, he wrote a bizarre letter to the Montenegrin prime minister, claiming that Sajic had attempted to raise funds from Kwon and others in the crypto industry. These allegations that a leading candidate for prime minister had sought money from corrupted crypto fugitives caused a massive political scandal. Sajic denied the allegations and nevertheless managed to win the election, becoming Prime Minister of Montenegro in October 2023. It is unclear why Kwon wrote the letter, but Sajic speculated that his political enemies might have promised Kwon some sort of freedom if he made the allegations, which Sajic insisted were false. Kwon admitted to writing the letter but offered no explanations for the reasons why. After 4 months in the Montenegrin prison, Kwon was moved to an immigrant detention facility to await the outcome of extradition proceedings. The SEC case against Kwon took place in March 2024 in New York, despite his absence. It took place in the same courthouse where Sam Bankman-Fried's trial had been held just 2 weeks earlier. The jury ultimately found Kwon guilty of fraud In his absence, the United States and South Korea have filed competing motions to extradite Kwon to their countries. If extradited to South Korea, Kwon is expected to face one of the longest ever sentences for financial fraud in the country's history. Don't hesitate to check out our FTX series on Sam Bankman-Fried and his girlfriend Caroline Ellison. The Caroline Ellison video is my personal favorite video on this channel. Watch it if you want to see what happens when a 26-year-old, romance-obsessed, Jane Austen and Taylor Swift superfan is made CEO of her boyfriend's multi-billion-dollar trading firm. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe.